Hello, everyone. My name is Danny. This review is for the movie called Judy. 30 years after rising to global stardom in The Wizard of Oz, showbiz legend Judy Garland arrives in London to perform a 5-week sold out run at the Talk of the Town. While preparing for the shows, Garland battles with management, reminisces with friends and adoring fans, and embarks on a whirlwind romance with soon to be fifth husband Mickey Deans, all while bravely struggling to overcome intensifying anxiety and physical decline. Featuring some of her best known songs, the film celebrates the unyielding spirit and matchless talent of the world's greatest entertainer. This is a 2019 film. It is rated PG-13. It runs 2 hours and it stars Renee Zellweger. Everybody else is just kind of part of the cast. So this is Judy. Make sure that's turned down. There we go. Well, hello everybody. Yeah, this is a nice movie. This is another musical, and if you don't want to see it that's fine. But it's about a musician. It's about their life as a musician, and that falls under the musical category for me because we've just had uh, Rocket Man. We've had one of the greatest movies ever like this is the Temptations movie, and we just had Bohemian Rhapsody, and so there's all kinds of movies like this, and they're all the same, but then they have to kind of be unique in their own way because they're about a certain musician and they have to be handled a certain way. But I think kind of the format of Judy is the most straightforward way of making a movie. So that was a little bit like not disappointing, but just like kind of more simplified. It was just a simple way of doing the movie. You have a flashback here, you have some drug use there, and then you have her flashback here, and then you have some problem here. Um, so the format of the movie was probably the most disappointing thing for me. I just would have preferred a little bit more creativity, but there is creativity, and the best part about that is the flashbacks to her as a kid. I don't know who plays the kid in this movie, but she is very good at doing what she's doing. She gives us what we need out of this movie for those flashbacks to be important and, for us to get something out of it. And so I think that the movie was pretty well done. It just was a simple way of making the movie with the flashbacks and the problems of Judy Garland. Excuse me. So, um, I think that I could have used more music. A lot of these movies, that of course the reason why they make them is because the musician had problems. That's otherwise the movie's not interesting, right? And so they cover those bases. They cover the alcohol use. They very abundantly cover the alcohol use, and they cover everything else that needs to be covered. But I just wish there would have been a little bit more music, whether as a child, whether as her on the road before she gets her problems. But they decided to cover the time period that kind of at the end, and that's a different way of doing things because it has to be more storyline. You have to rely upon your acting, you have to rely upon your characters, you have to rely upon the situation and whether it calls for music or not. Um, so I think they handled the movie fine. I think they handled the momentum and the storyline and everything fine. We do get to see, the the singing on stage, which is kind of what I was striving for. I just wish they didn't wait until almost the complete end to actually show us anything singing wise, because they just have so much story. It's a really long movie, 2 hours. Um, I just there's a lot in it that's nice, like her acceptance of fans, like her struggling with the whole marriage thing, but that stuff gets kind of abundant and kind of spins its wheels and stuff. So there's certain things that are a little bit more excessive and a little bit, and then there's the music that could have been more attended to. My biggest critique of movies like this always will be that I'm not really sure if Renee Zellweger was lip syncing or if she was singing her way and then they mute it and then they put the Judy Garland voice over her. I'm not really sure how that all worked, and I don't really want to know. I just could tell something was wrong while I was watching the movie. And so other than that, Renee Zellweger is fine. She's a award winning actress, that's for sure. She's done many different roles, and I think she is the one to handle a character like this that is on the dumps side of things, but can still be classy. And this is an epic character to play, and so she deserves all acclamations of playing it. And I just enjoyed the movie so much, really did. I really did enjoy the movie that I think the only thing that could have set it over the top more is developing the story a little bit more, a little bit less of the thing that we hear about every time we watch a movie like this, with the things of why they became sick and why they are incoherent and how they are able to go through a performance. We have no idea, but that's why people who are famous, they're kind of selling out their life by being famous if they're going to use things to keep themselves awake and alert and coherent. And, sometimes, this addresses the sleep problem. And I think that's why sometimes we don't need to question, celebrities and politicians and stuff, because they probably are going off 3 hours sleep or no sleep most days. And so it's a very real movie. It's very, very real. It's not meant to be a comedy by any means, but it's very nice to see, who Judy Garland might have been on a day to day basis, talking to people so nicely and appreciating them, but then going through what she was going through. So I think there are some things that could have made this better. I think there is a way that could have been handled that would have made it better and more entertaining. But it's very good for what it is, and I can completely understand watching it again. It's just one of those movies that this is kind of why I didn't like Rocket Man all that much, and why I'm going to give it and Judy about the same grade, is because it's hard to watch this over and over and over again. The same thing with celebrities that are, people that we used to look up to and, enjoy their movies and enjoy their singing, that they had such a problem. It's hard to watch this. It's hard to have that kind of image ruined a little bit, and it's hard to honestly listen to them the same way ever again. And when these movies come out and they're so descriptive of how bad the problem was for cinematic purposes, we don't even know if that touches, how bad their real life was. So it's very sad, but it's also very beautiful. A very nice last scene or so, last couple scenes with her singing and stuff. Couple problems here and there, but overall I enjoyed it. I do advise watching it and seeking it out, and I could see myself owning it. I just don't know if I'd want to watch it all that often. I'm gonna give Judy a B plus, and I really would like to know what people think about a movie like this. With the possible lip syncing, with the overabundant coverage of the drinking, with the relationship being really sad, and that being kind of talked about too much in the movie, but nothing really happening out of it. So, how many times have you seen The Wizard of Oz? Leave a comment. Tell me something about your thought about this movie, because I think it's a very controversial one. I think it's a very sad one, and it deserves a grade of something like B plus to show respect. But it's just kind of a hard watch for me. Being such a in the music world and everything, it's very sad. So B plus for Judy. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and give some of them watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And enjoy movies. Thanks.